The first benchmarks for AMD's upcoming CPU were just leaked. Say goodbye to discrete GPUs. Nvidia has a major issue, and Nvidia is releasing new GPUs that are worse than what we have now? Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. We just got our first benchmarks for AMD's upcoming Ryzen 9 9950X3D2. Remember that this is the long-rumored CPU that AMD announced last month, which comes with 3D V-Cache on both chiplets. It's set for release on April 22nd, and it officially costs $899.
Boy, have you lost your mind, cause I'll help you find it.
That part is obviously frustrating given we aren't expecting any real boost in gaming performance and only a small performance jump in professional workloads. And speaking of professional workloads, this is what we have here. These were found on the official HWBot site as they already have a page dedicated to the chip, and they were tested on an Asus ROG Strix B850A gaming Wi-Fi motherboard and come with 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 and a 7900 XTX. Not only that, but the CPU was apparently air-cooled, so we can expect even better performance with an AIO. And starting things off, we have Cinebench 2026 with a single-core score of 746 and a multi-core score of 9246. Then there's a Cinebench R23 multi-core score of 38,579, and finally an overall 7-SIP score of 227,919. At the end of the day, these really aren't far off from the regular 9950X3D, but that's obviously what we expected. This is definitely one I think you should skip, unless you're willing to spend the money to get a slightly faster 9950X3D. Next up, Intel's about to help destroy the desktop discrete GPU market. But first, it's time to save money on a brand new PC, because April is Micro Center's desktop deals event, and they sponsored today's video so I can tell you all about their awesome gaming PCs, like the sweet Alienware Aurora that's an unreal $1,300 off. It comes with 32 gigs of memory, 2TB M.2 drive, a Core Ultra 9 285K, and even a 5080. And let's be honest, it looks pretty awesome. But if that's still not in your budget, no worries, because they also have things like this Power Spec PC with 16 gigs of DDR5 6000, because we know that's the sweet spot for Ryzen chips these days, and even a 5060 for just $1,000. Now, if you don't have a Micro Center near you, no worries, because they're expanding all the time, like with their upcoming Austin, Texas store. And in honor of the store, when you visit my link in the description and fill out this form, you can get a free 128 gig flash drive when they open. And they're offering the same thing with their upcoming New Jersey store remodel. That link is also in the description. So don't wait any longer and check out Micro Center before all the deals are gone. Now, back to the story. As many of you know, Intel recently released their next-gen Panther Lake mobile CPUs, and besides the impressive efficiency gains, they also come with a seriously impressive integrated GPU. I'm talking it flat destroys AMD's Radeon 890M found in their newest Ryzen AI 400 series consumer parts. So you'd better believe I was excited when I heard the new report claiming that Intel's set to release an iGPU-focused chip for desktop. That's right. According to this leaker, Intel's releasing an SoC with 4 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores, and 4 low power cores for the CPU. But what's even more wild is that it also comes with a whopping 12 Xe3P graphics cores. What's wild is that the Xe3P architecture is actually a step up from the architecture inside their Panther Lake SKUs. Basically, Intel's about to launch an APU, or SoC, and APU is technically AMD's branding, but regardless, they're about to launch an absolute monster chip that could seriously hurt the discrete GPU market. It looks like we finally have proof that Nvidia's melting connector issue is a major problem, as a trade publication focused on warranty data just published a report that shows Nvidia's warranty claims rose by an unbelievable 10,000% in just 3 years. Now, you might think this has to do with Nvidia's massive increase in AI demand, but for one, Warranty Week flat says that the increase in GPU sales only explains some of the increases in warranty expenses. In fact, going from just 2024 to 2025, Nvidia's warranty claims went from $81 million to an unreal $894 million. You might think that's because costs went up, but when we look at the warranty claims rate, which takes into account sales data, data, it's basically the percentage of claims per unit sold. And in the first quarter of 2025, Nvidia's claim rate was just 0.17%. But as the year went on, that rose to an unbelievable 0.90% by the fourth quarter. From Q4 of 2024 to Q4 of 2025, Nvidia's warranty claims rate increased by 9x. To give you an idea of how big of a difference this is, if you look at the spike from 2009 to 2011, it's nowhere near as big of a spike as 2025. Yet that 09 to 11 spike comes from a large-scale recall Nvidia did for defective integrated GPUs that they made for Apple, HP, and Dell notebooks. Basically, this is a huge deal, and it definitely makes me think that at least some of it comes from Nvidia's melting connectors. There may be some other issue, but if the melting connectors are at least partially it, that would mean that Nvidia's melting connector problem is even worse than what we thought. And while they may be covering it under warranty for now, who knows how long that lasts. Nvidia is apparently planning to release new GPUs that look better than the old ones, but are worse. If you remember, not too long ago, I covered a leaked RTX 5050 with 9GB of memory, something literally no one asked for, but it's even worse than it sounds because it also comes with a shorter 96-bit bus. Luckily, it would come with faster 28GB per second GDDR7 versus 20GB GDDR6, so it ultimately ends with slightly faster bandwidth. Still, a really weird card. But for now, there's a new leak that's much worse. It originally comes from the Board Channels forum and reposted by this well-known leaker on X. And as you can see, they claim that Nvidia is preparing 9GB variants of the RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti. Of course, we all want more memory, but there's a major catch here. Just like the 5050, Nvidia would cut the bus width down from 128-bit to 96. But unlike the 5050, the 5060 and 5060 Ti already use GDDR7, so even with blazing fast 36GB per second, the bandwidth would be lower than the 8GB model. We're talking by up to 25%, meaning we could actually see a drop in performance, except for places where the 8GB VRAM is fully taken up. As for why Nvidia would do this, it's exactly what I mentioned with the 5050. Nvidia would only have to use 3 memory modules instead of 4, and given the memory shortage we're still going through, that makes sense. But what's really wild about this is that Nvidia would almost certainly market them as the better GPU, and most consumers will see a 9 instead of an 8 and instantly believe it. Basically, if this does end up happening, it could be one of the most deceptive things Nvidia has ever done. With that said, there is some good news, as one leaker does claim that it's not going to happen, but it could easily be that his contact simply hasn't heard of it yet. Either way, according to the leak, it's set to release sometime in May or June. And if this does end up being true, Nvidia has some serious explaining to do. But let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below.